Okay, here we go. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for taking time to join us today on this chilly but sunny afternoon in Park City. Welcome to our virtual program visit featuring the Park City School District preschool program. Just a couple of quick housekeeping items as we get started. As you could hear, we are recording the event, so please keep that in mind. Our event flow is roughly presentation with information being shared by our speakers. And then we'll have some time for questions at the end. But that being said, if you do have a question in the moment, please feel free to type it in chat or take yourself off mute and ask away. We want this to be as engaging as a discussion as you can have over Zoom. Just a quick reminder to please mute yourself just to cut down on any background noise if you aren't asking a question or speaking. So with that, we will get started. My name is Kara Cody. I'm Program Director for Park City Education Foundation and excited to be here today for all of us to learn more about the preschool program. Together with our donors and volunteers, Park City Education Foundation funds and supports educator-powered initiatives that inspire all students to reach their academic and lifelong potential. We've been doing this for nearly 40 years. Truly, we're making an investment in the future. Our students, even the littlest ones, will enter a world we can't even imagine. We want to make sure they're prepared with the skills to be tomorrow's innovators, problem solvers, and leaders. Donor gifts help us support teachers and students and fund classroom-centered, research-based programs that prepare every Park City student for a lifetime of success. For instance, PCEF infuses more than $1.5 million annually into programs in the Park City School District. The funding reaches classrooms through our 8 signature initiatives. And within those initiatives, we support more than 100 programs, which reach every single student in Park City School District. We support the Elementary Visual Arts Program, also known as EVA, after-school program at both the elementary and secondary levels, educator and student wellness, real-world learning, Bright Futures, Classroom and Express Grants, Innovation Lab, and preschool, which is the reason why we're here today. Today, we're here to share more about the preschool program. As I mentioned, PCEF support is absolutely critical, especially pertaining to the Park City School District's expansion of the preschool program through realignment and the bond that was recently passed. This is very exciting because the expansion will provide 600 more seats for preschool. That's enough for every single 4-year-old. Currently, we're at 190 seats. PCEF has always prioritized preschool. Donors provided seed funding to start the program back in 2010. PCEF also provides $100,000 in preschool funding each year. And this is possible with the support from partners like Park City Mountain and Vail Resorts EpicPromise. You've heard enough from me, and so now it is my pleasure to introduce Kathy Anderson and Laurie Jorgensen with the Park City School District program. I am going to go ahead and turn it over to you, Laurie and Kathy.
Good afternoon, everyone. To share. So how do you do this? Right here. There we go. Okay.
Okay.
All right. I'm Kathy Anderson. So I've been Park City School District now for 32 years, and I've been the preschool director for 12 years, as long as we've had it. And Laurie, want to introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Laurie Jorgensen, and I'm one of the lead teachers in the 3-year-old program. And in the afternoon, I work as the instructional coach for the preschool staff. We have a few presenters today via our recordings. So these folks will be a part of our presentation today.
And I'll start with the history. District-wide preschool program began back in September of 2011. We've grown from just a half-day program for 3- and 4-year-olds to more 3-year-old classes and 6 full-day classes for 4-year-olds, which has really helped the needs of our working families here in Park City. Our preschool students thrive being in their home school, which they will attend when they go to elementary school. They become a part of the school community and are comfortable with the building they are in. This leads to a much smoother transition into kindergarten because they know how to do school and they are already familiar with how things work. We currently serve 160 preschool students. 56 3-year-olds, and 105 4-year-olds. We still have a wait list for our full day 4-year-old classes. And we've changed the way we've done registration so that we are able to include at-risk students before the lottery goes to the general public.
And like I said, my name is Laurie Jorgensen. I've just going to run over some of the duties that I have: assisted new teacher training and professional development. I help write grants. I offer the student support team to our staff, which is the SST meetings once a month. We support staff with classroom management and provide hands-on monthly curriculum ideas. I help administer the PEEP assessment twice a year. And also I help substitute teach too, since there is a substitute shortage. In addition, we have a wonderful partnership with Holy Cross Ministries. We hold spots in our 4-year-old program for their students, allowing them to access the Park City School District before opening up to the lottery to the community. And now I'd like to introduce Jennifer Schwindeman. She's the Director of Special Education for the Park City Preschool.
Hi, I'm Jen Schwendeman, and I am a special education teacher for the Park City School District preschool program. We provide instruction specifically designed to meet the developmental and educational needs of students with disabilities and/or developmental delays in our community. We have 2 certified special education teachers, 2 paraprofessionals, speech language pathologists at each elementary school, an occupational therapist, and a physical therapist, who are all working to provide services for students who qualify.
Next, we have Winter Chavez. She's a past preschool student from Parley's Park Elementary, describing what she likes about preschool.
My favorite part is the Play-Doh.
And what else do you like at preschool?
That we go to PE.
And did you make a lot of friends in preschool this year?
Yeah.
You did. And what kind of things do you do at the teaching and work table?
But tomorrow we're gonna make a team for K.
Your letter of the week is K. Wow, you get to make a king. Anything else you want to tell us about your preschool class?
I like my teachers.
And Park City School District is piloting the Mindful Child thanks to Park City Education Foundation. Once a week, our mindfulness instructor, Ms. Carey, comes to all 3 of the preschool classes at McPullen. So this was a grant last year that was written by one of our preschool teachers, Julie Alvarez, and we have Carey come to all of the preschool classrooms at McPullen. So there's photos. So here's a quote from Julie Alvarez, who's the teacher that wrote and received the grant. Having the Mindful Child Project grant from Park City Education Foundation has been the biggest gift, not only to my students, but also to us teachers. Carrie Kushner has an amazing ability to bring an age-appropriate, safe, calm, non-judgmental, rich, inspirational way of teaching how to regulate feelings and emotions to our littlest learners. I have seen firsthand how my students are able to negotiate, express, and switch gears during conflict, in addition to being grateful and looking at the positive in everyday situations. It's important to teach that feelings are valid and that feelings come and go. The self-affirmations that are reinforced during practice are one that we should all get to experience. When I hear my students share what they are thankful for, or that they have strong, brave, confident, they are strong, brave, confident, and kind, it inspires me, gives me hope. And for this next generation, the amazing things they will be able to accomplish. So here's Carrie in action.
Breathe in. You're right. We're going to show Iker how we hold the diamonds carefully. This is where you can get in our circle.
And here's one more.
The moment. Can you catch one? Oh, you might be able to catch one. Oh, catch one. Mateo, I'm coming near you. Are you ready?
And this is something I wish my adult kids had, that I had the ability as a mom to help them with these skills when they were younger. So I think it's so important. We've been fortunate to receive Park City Education Foundation grants throughout the years. Preschool has been able to purchase outdoor learning tables that we used during the COVID months for outdoor instruction and outdoor eating. Our Jeremy Ranch afternoon class every day. Yesterday, I think it was 10 degrees, and those kids were out there at those tables eating their snack. They love the tables. So they have been such a huge hit. I can't even tell you. We've also used funding to replace broken library furniture for our classrooms and provided each preschooler with take-home reading books. The students each receive a packet of books that are taken home, read and enjoyed with grown-ups, and then returned to school to be replaced by another packet. We have been able to purchase many books over the years in both English and Spanish.
And here is Rex Liferth, a student from Jeremy Ranch Elementary, telling us about his centers and his preschool rotations, and he's spotlighting those pretty cool tables.
I like the tables because I start from them. And I like the because we could do rotations and we could do centers.
And now we'll hear from Indra Northwood and Donna Ramos from McPolin Elementary, and they're showcasing their take-home reading books.
Nighttime, I read a book from hours and school books at nighttime because I like books in every time. That's not while I'm watching a movie.
It's not when I'm watching a movie.
Yes, just to be clear. So what sets us apart from other preschools? Our teachers use 4 different methods of instruction with our students. We utilize direct instruction in both small and large groups, project-based learning with our 4-year-old learners, and loose parts and process art with all of our students. We feel the combination of all these teaching styles help meet the needs of every learner. And we've also this year adopted a new social emotional curriculum called Komochis, which in Japanese means feelings, and it has been a huge success. Here we have a class at Jeremy Ranch this is an example of project-based learning. The class brainstorms topics they'd like to learn, and then they vote on what the winner, and they decide what the winner is, and that's their topic of study. This class voted to study what dinosaurs ate and what their skin looked like. They had an expert guest speaker there. You can see him on the screen. He's a biology teacher from Park City High School, Ed Mulick.
Ed Mulick,
Okay.
Mr. Mulick.
And he was able to zoom in with the preschoolers, and they were able to ask direct questions. And I heard it was just wonderful. All about dinosaurs and what they might have looked like.
And then he sent all of the kids little safety goggles
Yes.
for them to be future scientists.
Yes.
And they thought it was the coolest thing ever. So
The activity culminated where the children used these loose parts, which were a lot of recyclable materials, to build their own dinosaurs. And here's a little girl from Jeremy Ranch.
Why is your dinosaur so happy?
Because Mommy let us go to the playground.
But the dinosaur, the mom let the dinosaur go to the playground?
Yeah.
That's good.
Okay, the next example we have of loose parts. Here's just, well, there were many examples of loose parts. Here's one lesson that was taught during our transportation unit where the students use random items to help create modes of transportation. The final projects were rockets, cars, airplanes, and so on.
So loose parts, you get to pick what you want to use and how you want to use it. So we have all sorts of things, tubes, lids.
Whoa, what's this?
You could use that too.
What's this?
It actually is recyclable trash. That used to hold 2 Jesus together,
Whoa.
but we're gonna make it into something new. So take a look at what's on the table and see what you can do with it.
Okay, process art is a great way for kids to learn and explore techniques and try out new art supplies and materials without focusing on the end result. It's all about creating, taking risks, and having fun. And our goal is to get away from the cookie cutter projects that all look the same.
Okay, process art. Look at that good squeezing. And then Wilhelmina's going to use a straight edge and mix all the colors. And Claire's next. You ready, Claire? Are you ready? Yes. Oh, that red comes out so fast.
In addition, we offer direct instruction to small and whole class groups of children. And this is Molly Richter, a former preschool parent from McPullen Elementary.
Hi, I'm Molly Richter. I'm a mother to 3 girls that all attend McPullen Elementary School. I had 2 girls that went through the McPullen preschool program, starting with the 3-year-old class and then moved on to pre-K. We first started preschool here out of pure convenience. I had a daughter that was going to kindergarten, and I thought, oh, I can drop my other one off at preschool. And quickly we learned that while yes, that was convenience, it was not the biggest benefit of this preschool. The preschool is so fantastic. I tell everybody how much I love it. I love that the teachers use so many different ways of learning. They teach through music, through movement, through technology, through stories. They have found a way to reach every kid so that every kid can learn and excel. One thing I really love about the program is that they've created a routine. So the kids come in and they know what to expect, but within this routine, kids have choice. They know what's going to happen next, but it's never boring. The teachers are so creative, so talented, and we've just been thrilled with our 2 girls having gone through the program. They set them up for kindergarten perfectly. They're excelling. They're doing everything that they should be. And I would have to say that the teachers here at McPullen, all of the preschool teachers, have this gift of making every kid feel that they are the most special kid in the room, that they are so important and they are loved, all while teaching them and helping these kids to thrive and be the best that they can be. And it's a fantastic program.
And since the bond passed, the timeline from Park City School District indicates the expansions of Jeremy Ranch to McPullen Elementary Schools. And they are scheduled to be done now by September of 24th. There have been some glitches that was supposed to be done 2023, but that's been pushed back. There'll be an additional 3-year-old classroom in each building, 2 more 4-year-old classrooms at Jeremy Ranch and McPullen, so 4 at each school. We will move from 26 3-year-olds to 52 in each school site. And Parley's Park and Trails side will follow after that. So I think the earliest now for their completion will be fall of 2025. And so we should be able to expand our program from what we have now to, hold please. I flipped my page too quick. So we should be able to house up to 600 students. So once we're at full capacity with all of the schools and the build out being completed. And early childhood, Abby's the queen of all the information on this. She shares so much valuable information always. But as we know, it's the most important time in a child's life. Research shows this is true academically, socially, and emotionally. And we really found this to be true after having remote learning due to COVID, that when we came back to school in person, how much, not only did the kids need hands-on, we needed to be hands-on with those kids to help them learn. Because there's nothing like learning in person compared to being on a screen, and they need that time to talk and be listened to. And we found that oral language development, it was really lagging. And Laurie can attest to this with the 3-year-olds. These are the COVID babies now that are 3. Some of them have never been with other children. We have a lot of speech delays, and we're able to recognize this now and get the kids the help they need to help them continue to succeed in school. So it's been kind of a challenging year in that regard. Again, Laurie can attest to that 100% because she's in there with them.
Yeah.
So. And the future of preschool, I know one thing that the school board really wants is a universal preschool program, and that would be free preschool for everyone. But we'll see. That's something they've talked about for quite a while. And once we have the space, maybe that's something they'll be able to support. I know that right now full day kindergarten is just coming into play for the rest of the state of Utah. I think preschool will be quite a bit behind that before the state funds it. If that was something the district would fund, I think it'd be incredible. But anyway, that what with the new build out, the district will be able to provide before and after school care as far and wraparound services. So right now preschool kids come to school either just 2 half days a week for the 3-year-olds or 4 days a week for the 4-year-olds, but we would be able to provide, separate program would come in and do Friday care for these kiddos as well. So it'll just help these working families that much more as we expand. Okay. I think that is what we've got, ladies and gentlemen. So.
Thank you, Kathy and Laurie. Does anybody in our audience have any questions?
I had a question. I was wondering, for the KEEP data that you guys have, do you look at that based on experience with preschool? So, kids coming into kindergarten, are you able to slice the data and say, this is where the kids are at if they've had, just pre-K versus 3 and 4-year-olds? I'm just curious, to sort of quantify the impact that you're able to see with the preschool.
Yeah, that is something that we do look at, definitely. Caitlin O'Connor, who's our district statistician, is also tracking students that we've had from the beginning until now, just to see how many of those kids, how they're doing academically. So our first cohort, I believe, are now 10th graders. Yeah, that's right, because the first group will graduate in 2025. And so one big thing we have noticed with these kids, and Caitlin is working on like a short little PowerPoint that'll show the 12 years of the kids that we've had at preschool, how they're doing now, is so many less referrals for special ed, especially kindergarten, first grade. And a lot of that came from our Spanish speakers that would start kindergarten, first grade, and the kindergarten, first grade teachers would think that they needed special education when in fact it was a language barrier. And so there has been a big decrease in kids that started in our program that are not being, they're not qualifying for special education. So we are tracking that data for sure.
Thank you.
I have a question that's a little bit more on the qualitative side. So Kathy, you have been with the pre-K program from its inception. I feel like you are like the fairy godmother of preschool here in Park City. But I'm wondering if you
guys are the queens for preschool.
No, you are wings and a cape. But wondering if you could share a personal story about the impact of preschool, like an individual story or highlight from the past 10 years.
Okay, and I shared this at the board meeting last week, but one big one was a little girl that when I was still in the classroom teaching 3-year-olds, I had a little girl that came in, Spanish speaker, no one in her family, her siblings, none of them had gone to preschool. And mom was very hesitant to bring her daughter. And she cried so hard when she came in the first day that she threw up all over me. And I'm like welcoming all these other kids and parents like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? But it worked out. And she is now a Latino in action at Ecker Hill. And this girl is thriving. And I saw her at I saw her at Jeremy a couple of weeks ago, and I hadn't seen her in a couple of years. And I saw her and she started crying. I started crying. So just to see all of the great programs that you all support and how they're now dovetailing, how our preschoolers are, coming in as leaders to become Latinos in action. And so that to me is just incredible, and programs we would not have without the support of the Education Foundation. So, and I follow this girl. I love this girl. I'll go to her high school graduation. It'll just be great to see what she does with her life. So.
Thank you for that, Kathy. Does anybody else in the audience have any questions?
I heard something the other day. I was talking to a woman who actually lives in the Granite School District, which I know they also had one of the early adopters of preschool, but she said that they're growing so much that some of the preschool is getting canceled, that getting pushed out of the elementary schools. And that was shocking to me. And I just thought, oh my gosh, here we are, we're expanding. I mean, how lucky is that? It seemed short-sighted given what we know the results are if kids are in preschool. But is that true? And how lucky are we that we're expanding?
We're so lucky. Granted, it's such a huge program. I believe they have 72 schools, and we follow their same model. So they did this for 8 years before we jumped on board, and we still do some professional development with them. I reach out to their director quite a bit. Part of the reason they've had to shut down programs is because of staffing. So they could not find staff that would stick with it because of the pay, which is a similar thing up here in Park City. We're just very fortunate that we have, Laurie calls it a community service, because these teachers they're not here for the money. But granted, they've had to shut down classrooms because they just can't retain staff. So, and even with the substitute issue, which is, I think, universal everywhere, people are having difficulty with substitutes. They have a program now where parents are allowed to come in so the classrooms can still run. So yeah, we're very fortunate. We're the only public program in the state that has full day as well. So Granite just has half day for 4-year-olds because they don't have the space. So we're so fortunate to have the full day.
And I have to say too, I hope the district looking forward with this huge expansion realizes that staffing is going to be a big part of it. And paying teachers, I used to teach 4th grade here at McPullen before my kids were born. And, I'm a certified teacher, but it's every bit as much of teaching as what the rest of the school is doing with conferences and IEPs and all that goes along with teaching. They just happen to be smaller people. So funding and finding a way to pay the early childhood educators, I think is critical for this district to expand and to hold on to who we have.
And Laurie and Kathy, can you remind me, what is the relative compensation for the preschool teacher versus, say, a 1st grade teacher?
It's about half. So they don't work quite as many hours. Lead teachers work 35 hours instead of 40. And probably mid to high is 25,000 a year, where kindergarten through 12th grade teachers start at 50,000. So, and benefits are another thing. A lot of our staff don't get benefits. They can only come in at 28 hours instead of 30, where they could qualify for the medical benefits. But so that's something the district's very aware of. We kind of say it wherever we can. But Ed Foundation has just been the best when we don't get certain grants. Kara's write, an express grant, do this, do that. So we are just so fortunate to have your support.
Thank you for that, Kathy. And we're so fortunate to have you and Laurie and the rest of your preschool team teaching our cutest, littlest, sweetest little students here in Park City. Any other questions? If not, we can wrap it up. And I hope that everyone has a wonderful break next week. Those that are able to take the time off and enjoy time with their families and kind of wherever else they end up going next week. Thank you so much. Just want to encourage those that are on the call just to keep in touch with Park City Education Foundation. We've got our social media tags, as well as our website and telephone number. Please reach out anytime with questions or just to keep in touch with us. Thank you all so much and enjoy the rest of the school year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, ladies. Thanks,
Bye.
everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.